Good morning, it's Leanne Peters here. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And I'm here to pull some cards, yay, and share some guidance for this week ahead, starting Wednesday, the 27th of April, through till Tuesday, the 3rd of May. 2022. So we're transitioning into a new month, which is always exciting, especially when it's May. I'm a little bit biased. So welcome. While you're coming over, I want to send out an extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons, my Pillar of Light family, and to all of those of you who support my work through my website. Thank you so much for your support. Your support helps me keep being able to do my videos like this and to keep being able to do my work full time. So thank you for your support. If you're new to watching, welcome. Please let us know if you are new so we can welcome you. And what I'm going to be doing today is using my combined Animal Kingdom Oracle cards with my Speed of Light Oracle cards in here. And I've combined these two decks together that I created, and I've got 110 cards here to play with for this week. So we're going to see which cards are best suited for us for this week ahead. Oh, we've got a visitor. Someone has to say hello every day. Good morning from us here in Tasmania, Australia. She's so chilled. Not a worry in the world. But she just is drawn to my voice. As soon as she hears my voice, she's beelining for me. And she'll probably sleep just over there in the grass and listen. So yes, I'm pulling cards, and the cat thinks I'm talking to her, I'm pretty sure. So I will be pulling cards for this week ahead. I'm using this deck, but I am also using my intuition, so I'll be guided by that. I recommend that you take on board what feels right and what resonates for you personally at this time, and just let the rest go. If it doesn't resonate, if it doesn't make sense to you at this time, it's okay, just let it go. It's most likely guidance that someone else needs to hear. So welcome. Let's do a quick shout out in the comments and then we'll get started. Good morning, Michelle and Bridget and Carolyn. And Tash is here. Hi, Tash. And Andrea. Hi, Lisa and Christine and Anna. Hi, Corey from Pennsylvania. We've got Real Joe Ryan. Welcome. Hi, Anna and Laurie. And Alicia's here from California. Hi, Mari. Michelle's from Colorado. And I see we've got Donna and Barb from Vancouver. We've got Patricia from GA. I don't know where GA is. A state in the US, but Georgia maybe. Michelle's from New Zealand. Good morning, Margarita and Teresa and Judy. Hi, Judy. Joanna's here as well. Joanne, I can tell you the cat will not be excited for the move. She doesn't like moves. We only moved her once from our previous location, and she did adopt us because her previous owner moved and she didn't want to move, so she returned back to where she lived, which was our next door neighbour's house, which was sort of like a flat off ours almost. So she doesn't like moving, but we survived last time and I'm sure she'll be fine. So welcome. So I'm shuffling the cards and preparing now to pull the cards for the week ahead. While I'm shuffling, I just want to touch base in regards to last week's theme card. So the theme card last week was the Water Dragon, which talked about going into new depths within us and within aspects of our life. I know for me personally it was very much in effect, and in fact it's still pretty much in effect now. I'm still in that sort of deep explorative mode, introspective mode as well. So I don't know if the Water Dragon and moving to new depths resonated with your theme last week, but we're diverting now. We're starting our new focus. So I'm shuffling the cards and I'm holding the intention that I want to find the best cards for the majority of us, starting Wednesday the 27th of April through till Tuesday the 3rd of May 2022. So I trust that the best cards will find their way to the top of the deck based on the way I choose my cards. That's right for me. So the best cards for this week ahead for the majority of us are these. And I'm going to just duck down here and lay them face down. I want to lay them in a rainbow shape, which reminds me of that bridge energy I was talking about yesterday and in the current energy report this morning. So we have a beautiful bridge of cards. We've got 4 Animal Kingdom and 3 Speed of Light Oracle. So let's turn them over. Oh, that's a good we have, okay, we've got 2 feature cards. We do have a dragon, so put your predictions in the comments if you want. So all the elements, water, earth, air, fire, and spirit dragon. Which one is it? Have a guess. We've also got a couple of featured cards. So we've got this featured timing card, which has further instructions here, which say to take the second card from the top of the deck. So I'm going back to my deck, and I'm going down to card number 2 here, the wolf. So I'm going to add that with the moon, the lunar cycle, and we'll talk about that shortly. The other theme card, the other featured card is the Cobra bite. So we might be in for a surprise this week. It has further instructions here which say to take the top card from the deck. So I'm just going to grab this card straight off the top, which is the giraffe. So the giraffe goes with the Cobra bite, and I'll be talking about that much later in the reading. So we've got all the cards out now, and we're starting the week. Now, when I say week now, I'm saying from Wednesday till Tuesday, so this reading week, if you like. So Wednesday the 27th of April, we're starting this new week in reading terms for me at this point with the ladybug. And this is a great start. Card 31, the ladybug, it says it's a favourable time. And I see this as the good luck card in the deck. So this is good luck, good fortune, things being in good flow, a general sense of abundance coming in. And abundance, when I think of abundance, I think of good health, I think of opportunities, I think about things being in good flow. Maybe we get savings or discounts on things, or we get a bargain somewhere and we have a little bit of extra, perhaps a little bit of extra money or finance aside. It could be a pay rise, this sort of thing. So this general sense of abundance or being in good flow is a great start to the week. So a great time to start something new or to try a new adventure, especially if you have a really strong pull from your heart. So it's a favourable time to do whatever it is that you're focusing on as we begin this week on Wednesday the 27th of April. And then, what were your guesses for the dragon? Because we have, see who was right. We've got the spirit dragon for Thursday, the 28th of April. And the spirit dragon is card 26. And it says heightened energy. Now, those of you who have been watching for a while will know, but in 110 cards in this deck, there are 5 dragon elements cards. The dragons I see as the most powerful cards in the whole deck. And then the king or the queen of those dragons is this one. So I would class this as the cherry on the top. This is the highest vibrating card in the entire deck. And it's come up for Thursday. So it talks about a state of heightened energy coming off the back of the ladybug, which says it's a favourable time. We've got abundance, opportunities, good health, good flow as we move into Wednesday. And then coming off that, going into the spirit dragon is very high, very favourable energy to pretty much do most things that we feel inspired to do. This is a great time to connect with our loved ones in spirit. So talking to them, communicating with them, meditating and connecting with them, or conversing with them in your own way, or however you like to connect with your loved ones in spirit or your spiritual team. I feel like I'm talking very fast, so the energy's coming in quickly, and I will try and slow down for those of you who may not understand my accent. But this does highlight a heightened sense of connection, a very favourable time to connect with our spiritual interests, including connecting with our loved ones in spirit. There is a Midas touch feeling over Wednesday and Thursday. and it may continue, but especially for these couple of days, this is a great time to start new things, complete things, tie up loose ends, be productive as well. So what I really encourage us to do, or for you to consider, works for me anyway, it may work for you too, is when you're feeling productive and you're feeling motivated, roll with it. Because it's not a state we are constantly in. We're not an engine that we need fuel and we just turn the key in the ignition and there we go. And we're just this constant source of energy, or on this constant level of energy. We're not like that. So our energy levels ebb and flow, as we all know. So if you're feeling particularly heightened, especially Wednesday and Thursday, there's a high chance you're feeling energetic, motivated, productive. So it's a great time then to put self-doubt and procrastination aside and go for things. Get things done, sort things out, get things planned, take action on things. So this energy is strong, and this Midas touch feeling too, where we might have this energy about us that turns something that we may have been struggling with for a while, it seems to turn out. So there is this feeling of things working in general over Wednesday and Thursday. So that's really great news. Then we turn to Friday, the 29th of April. And we've got these two cards for Friday. So we've got the lunar cycle that's come up with the wolf. They've come up together for a reason. And I'm going to talk about them separately, and then we'll look at their relationship together. So the lunar cycle. Now, it must be close to a new moon, or are we moving towards a full moon? I don't know. When I looked out the window this morning, there was a slither of moon, and I don't know if it was waxing or waning, so I'm not really sure where we're at with the lunar cycle. But on Friday, this is card 53, and it says lunar cycle. It talks about 1 month. So this next 1 month is pivotal. So from around the 29th of April till about the 29th of May. So there's a 1 month window here that's really important. And it's connected with this card here, card 48, the wolf. And the wolf, oh, thank you, a new moon. The wolf says, secure your boundaries. We've got cockatoos, 3 black cockatoos flying overhead. So secure your boundaries. So this card on its own, it talks obviously about our boundaries and how secure or how erected they are, or how not. You know, how secure are our boundaries at this time, or how insecure are they? Oh, the cat is so funny. She's over there trying to look up at these cockatoos that are just kind of zigzagging across the sky. So how I think of boundaries sometimes, and in this moment as well, as a fence. So how well built is your fence? How well erected is it? Or is it crumbling? Is it breaking down? Does it have weak spots where wolves and any type of anything can sort of jump the fence and come into your space? So it might be really important on Friday that we assess our boundaries. What's the current state of them? Do they need some repair, some re-strengthening? Do we need to strengthen? It's very much a mental thing too. Do we need to strengthen our mind in regards to our boundaries? What we will accept, what we won't accept, what we will do, what we won't do. It can also be guided back to our schedule and our routine. You know, sometimes we overcommit, sometimes we take on too much, and we can't do everything. So sometimes our boundaries need to be enforced so that we feel strong and courageous enough to say, no, I just cannot do this, that sort of thing. So securing our boundaries with the wolf, and it comes up with the lunar cycle. So this suggests over this next approximately 1 month, from around the 29th of April to the 29th of May, that we may find it beneficial to look closely at our boundaries. And we might find on Friday that we really assess and look at the current state of our boundaries, and then from the information we gather, then we can do something about repairing or reinforcing or strengthening or whatever it is that our boundaries need to keep them strong for the next month, if you know what I mean. So we might find that repair is needed this week so that we can keep our boundaries and our energy levels strong. Another way of looking at boundaries for me is I ask myself, where am I giving my power away? What's taking my energy outside of my space, outside of that fence, if you like, that boundary? And I might be thinking about or just spending too much time doing things that I might be a bit obsessed about, or I might be taking up too much of my time and attention. So sometimes it's not just about what we are or aren't letting in, but also what we're sending out. So where is your mind divided? Where is your attention and your energy divided? Is this working for you? Is it supporting you? Is it healthy for you? If not, what can you do to rein and bring your energy back into that sort of boundary, into that field, that fenced off area that is your space? So that's another way of looking at boundaries that I personally find quite helpful. So that's for Friday. Then we move to Saturday, the 30th of April. And we've got the support card, card 35, and it says, comfort loved ones and reassurance. This card would only come up if we're feeling unsupported and we're feeling probably quite alone by the time we get to Saturday or on Saturday itself. The bottom might sort of feel like it drops out of something, and something feels a bit unstable that probably felt stable earlier, a few days earlier or even a little bit earlier. But it feels like potentially the bottom drops out of something and maybe the reality kicks in or something like this. And we have to, being guided to think about stepping up and reassuring and supporting ourselves. If you're waiting on other people to tell you what a great job you're doing, and to be there to support you, and you're waiting and waiting and the support's not coming, that can be very much lower our energy levels. So instead of waiting for other people to step up and thank you and support you and reassure you, can you instead become your best supporter? Can you step up and look after yourself better than you have been? So maybe something to think about. Also, we've got our loved ones around again with this card. So it came up with the spirit dragon. So there's a lot of spiritual energy around this week where it would be a great time to connect with our loved ones in spirit, maybe communicate with them, meditate and connect with them and reconnect with them. Feel them close by, because we're being reminded that we're not alone. And especially by the time we get to Saturday, we might not really feel alone prior to that. Substantially, but it feels like on Saturday that the bottom might drop out of something. We might have a slump of energy, and that reminder that we're not alone and reassuring ourselves that our loved ones are nearby, that everything's going to be okay. This sort of energy to support ourselves feels to be important. So feel this energy, feel your loved one come in around you and support you from behind and give you this beautiful energetic hug to remind you that you're not alone. So that's for Saturday. Well, that's the last day of April too. So then we move to the 1st of May. Sorry, I just realised I talked away from the microphone, which might mean that you couldn't hear me properly. I don't know. Anyway, Sunday the 1st of May, new month, and we have the Cheetah, card 4. The Cheetah reminds us to focus on our strengths. Meaning, or another way of looking at this, is to let's stop, especially on Saturday. We might find ourselves a bit down in the dumps. And we might find that we're focusing on things that are lacking or missing or people that aren't there or what our sort of weaknesses are. So we might find it helpful to start, hopefully beforehand, but to really think about having a perspective shift. And instead of looking at what's missing, what's lacking, what's not working, let's look at our strengths and the things that are working. So there is this feeling of shifting from looking at the small parts of ourselves, the parts that are just difficult at the moment, and looking at our strengths. How can we get through this? Where's the solution? What's the opportunity in this challenge? So the Cheetah for Sunday, focus on your strengths. Okay, then that's interesting because it takes us up to Monday, the 2nd of May. And you may remember we had the featured card, the Cobra bite. With the giraffe, this is very interesting. So let's look at these separately, then we'll look at their relationship together. So we've got card 9, the Cobra bite. And those of you who work with the cards yourselves know this is a pretty potent card. It's a bit fierce and bitey, a bit ouchy it can be, a bit surprising. So the words here say sting, shock, truth, and illusion. Now I've seen this card come up for great surprises, great shocks, we could say, and I've seen them come up for not so good surprises or shocks. So it's not coming up to have us be scared or to sleep through our Monday so we can avoid this. There is something here that's waking up inside of us, and it's a truth that's waking up to reality, the reality of what that reality is for us, and the reality that's shifting for us. I finally feel today like we're seeing the light at the end of this very long, depressive tunnel of lockdowns and health and fear and this disconnection from people, this isolation. I'm finally seeing the light at the end of the tunnel for this, which feels really hopeful because it's been a long journey for the last couple of years, and longer and darker for some of us over or compared to others of us. Hasn't been too bad for me, but in general there's just been this cloak of darkness and fear, and I feel this light is revealing itself now, like we're moving out. You know, like the tunnel can feel like when we're going through the tunnel we can't even see the light at the other end, and it feels just ongoing, permanent, like are we even walking through this? Are we making progress? Are we getting out of this? And it feels like it's permanent, like it's forever. But it feels like the progress we've made in these last couple of months has really pulled us now towards that light now that's shining at the end of the tunnel. And we may still have a little ways to go, but the light now, we can start to see it and feel it, and it pulls us and it entices us because we know that there is something more. There is something more connective, something more loving for us to connect with, more so than what we have generally felt in these last couple of years. So this gives me hope. So I don't know where I'm really... Oh, yeah, I was talking about truth with this particular card. So it feels like things are awakening for us on a very personal level, but also a collective level. And it's connected with this card, the giraffe, card 33. And it says, look at things differently. So this again highlights a perspective shift. You know, like if I use that tunnel as an example, we might have been walking through the tunnel. It's just black. We don't know where we're going. We can't see anything. We can't see the light. We don't even know if we're walking towards the other end of the tunnel or not. It can feel like we're going in circles. It's a heavy energy to sort of trudge through, if you like. But now we're shifting, I feel, and we're seeing or starting to get a glimpse or a feeling that there is hope here, that there is light, that we're moving out of this time period. That's a shift of perspective. So what if we were standing in this tunnel and we got so confused, so scared, that we'd just been walking around in circles? And what if we actually found ourselves just looking at the wall, this black wall, but actually the light at the end of the tunnel was just across on the side there this whole time? And all it requires is us to turn and look in that direction, see the light and start moving in that direction. So let's be careful that we're not thinking that things are more tragic or devastating or worse than what they really are, and keep perspective and try and keep, I want to say, like solution orientated, where there's hope, that we can keep that flicker of hope or that glimmer of hope alive, that there is potential for things to change. So what do you need to look at differently, especially when it comes to Monday? And with these two cards linked together, there is probably going to be some type of surprise, either a good or not so good surprise that happens. It's going to have us, almost force us to look in this new different direction. And hopefully it's a great surprise that prompts us to see or turn to face this other end of the tunnel, so that we can come out of this now and be ourselves. because in many instances we haven't really been able to be. So that's for Monday. Oh, and Tuesday the 3rd of May, we have boundaries, card 1. So we've got boundaries have come up a couple of times, spiritual connections have come up a couple of times, and so has perspective. So boundaries again by the time we get to Tuesday the 3rd of May. This is card 1, and it says truth, protection, courage and bravery. So we've been encouraged, double whammy, double things paired up this week. Actually, we also had the ladybug and the spirit dragon together, which are both very similar energies too. So there's this doubling up of things, it seems, this week. But by the time we get to Tuesday, we'll probably be looking at our boundaries again, even though it's probably going to be a theme for sort of a month, because it came up with the lunar cycle card. But our boundaries may be under the spotlight, really highlighting where they're lacking and maybe where they're strong. But usually where they're lacking is where the spotlight sort of goes to. So, we're giving too much energy to this spotlight. So then things get amplified. We become more uncomfortable with it. It feels like it becomes more complicated or this sort of thing. So it's under the spotlight only because it's trying to get our attention, because we may not have noticed it before. So boundaries, important on Tuesday. And truth. Truth has come up a couple of times too. So we definitely have this pairing up of very similar energies coming through throughout this week, which will be interesting to see how that plays out. So we might have some repeat kind of patterns or repeat things happen. You know, the same conversations with people and nothing seems to be happening, or not much progress is being made. So we might find that we're double backing a bit too this week. So see how you go, and let's see what unfolds as we flow through this new week and move into this new month. So thank you so much for joining me today. I am going to pull a theme card to go in just a minute. Before I do, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. If you have enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love. Please comment or share if you're inspired to. And if you would love to connect more privately, please send us a message through our website. If you would love to learn more about me and the work I do here at Temple of Balance, if you would love to work with one or both of my decks that I created, you can work with them separately or you can join them together like I have. You can learn more about them and lots of stuff that I've made and created over the years on my website. So please visit templeofbalance.com.au. If you even get something little out of my videos and you haven't supported for a while, please consider grabbing something on my website so that I can continue to do this work that I'm doing. So the best card I'm looking for now for the theme for this week ahead. So the theme card is going to be like our umbrella. It's going to be the overarching energy. It's going to help us see the bigger picture for this week ahead, starting Wednesday the 27th of April through to Tuesday the 3rd of May. Ooh, so what is the best card for the theme for the majority of us for this week? So the best theme card is, okay, let's go with this card here. It's an Animal Kingdom Oracle card. Oh, we have the wolf. This is really not surprising because of the tunnel talk I've been talking about. Because this card came up this morning actually in the current energy report for that talk that for that energy that I was connecting with. So the wolf, we've got another pair here, because when I created this deck I saw this is the masculine and this is the feminine. So they've also paired up. So we've got loads of pairs. Things are probably going to happen in sort of twos this week or something. Seems quite interesting. Okay, it's card 21, and it says wolf, and it says your battle companion. So during that time, that difficult time of however long it's been for you, I'm thinking sort of pandemic sort of time frame, so the last couple of years, this wolf is showing us that that we have had the support And I imagine this as like this wolf here standing by our side like a loyal dog. And even though we've been walking through the darkness or through like a battlefield, personal, collective sort of battlefield, this wolf has not left our side. And this card actually has not come up for a long time. It's come up twice today, and I've only used the deck twice. So while we've been going or stumbling around, unable to see in the blackness of the tunnel, if that resonates with you, which represents this dark sort of period of our journey, the wolf or our loved ones in spirit, maybe our animals who have passed away, if you've got a special bond with an animal that's passed, has been by our side the whole time. We have not been alone during this journey. And even though this is sort of, as we're coming out of it, it's good to know when we're in it, but, you know, I'm sure we've been reminded a lot as well. But it's important for us now to know too, as we make our way out of this tunnel, because a part of us may rear up or feel resistant to actually moving out of the darkness, because this has become our comfort zone. And it's crazy. It's become our comfort zone, this heavy, scary, fearful, dark, depressive space that we've in general been in. It's become our comfort zone. And comfort zones, in another way of describing them, are like our no-growth zone. But a part of us gets really comfortable there, and a part of us gets very afraid of leaving that comfortable place, even if we know it's not good for us. So there is a hint here of fear, agitation perhaps, resistance to moving towards that light and moving out of this tunnel and moving towards change. So now more than ever, we need to know that we have support, that we have this loyal energy by our side, our loved ones in spirit, our own way of comforting ourselves, our tools, our ability to reassure and motivate ourselves to move forward. We can guide ourselves out of this tunnel, but we can also keep ourselves trapped in some ways in this tunnel and in this fear, because it's become known to us. It's become our comfort zone. So whether this is representing sort of the pandemic sort of energy or something more personal for you, what are you fast approaching that you are completing or tying up? Where are you moving out of something? You're tying something up, closing doors, and what fear and resistance is that stirring inside? So what I find best to do is to acknowledge that resistance and that fear and move forward anyway, because I know my resistance and fear is trying to keep me held back in that darker, challenging energy. So I have wised up to that part of me that feels resistant and feels fear, and that's a red flag for me when I feel it, because what's it stopping me from doing that is good for me? So I'm not going to personally listen to it, or no, I'm going to pay attention to it, but I'm not going to let it dictate to me what I'm going to do moving forward. So don't be afraid of moving towards the light. Don't be afraid of awakening, moving towards that hopeful, brighter place that we're all potentially moving to. Don't be afraid. Don't hold your head along the wall of the tunnel afraid to see, or so scared that you can't leave your space, that you have become petrified of the world. That is not a good place to be in. So can you take little steps today, knowing that you have support, knowing that you have support by your side? You are not alone as you make your way out of that which has not been good for you. It has not supported you, and it has probably held us back. It's been necessary in some ways, it feels like, but it is not necessary anymore. And this may be too where our perspective shift comes in this week. So there is a lot of, maybe it's a duality, this pairing up, this doubling up of all this various energies, very doubled up. So actually maybe it's a duality where we're actually going to have a choice here. to keep feeding the fear that we feel, or to build our strength and push through that fear and come out the other side. Duality wants to keep us separate. It wants to keep us scared, and it wants to keep us alone. But that is not the truth. It feels real, but it's not the truth. It is illusion. So let's turn our head, our heart towards the truth. And the truth is that the light is calling us to awaken and to move out of the darkness and out of that separation, that split of duality, and into unity, into oneness, into togetherness, real togetherness again. And hopefully we can come together even better and deeper and brighter and more lovingly and more compassionately than we did before any pandemic that recently occurred. So there are my thoughts. I trust they resonate. Take it or leave it, it's up to you, but maybe there's been some food for thought, something to think about, something to consider, and determine what your truth is. I don't never expect you to believe what I say. I just share what I feel, and you can take the bits and pieces that you want to further think about and work out and see how they feel for you. So thank you so much for joining me today. I've got a feeling this is going to be quite an important week for our future. And it's more of an inner thing, like a mental, emotional, physical thing. Okay, well, thanks so much for joining me. Have a great rest of your day. Have a fantastic week ahead. Happy birthday, happy anniversary if you're celebrating. I'll be back next Wednesday for the weekly guidance. And I may be in between for some healing and support videos. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you next time. Happy journeying into the brand new month. Namaste. So namaste means to me that the divine, the creator in me, honours and acknowledges the divine, the creator in you, that we are equal, we are one. Thank you so much for being who you are, and please, please, please remind yourself that you are not, and you have never ever been, alone. You belong here, you are important, you are loved. Thank you so much.